All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. And like I said earlier, my name is Arkady Hajiev. I'm the Student Learning Outcomes Coordinator at West Hills College. We have a committee called the Student Learning Outcomes Committee. And our job, our role is to look at something called student learning outcomes. Uh, think about how the West Hills College Coalinga should assess them, work with individual faculty if need be, and also make a system where it's developed and institutionalized. And so we work with faculty, obviously, in assessing them, but more importantly, to develop student learning outcomes for the faculty to understand what they are, and then to run through the process of assessment and possibly improvement. And so that's where we're at. And so I'm going to quickly, if we can go through just some quick introductions here. And I'm going to just pick on people as we see on the screen. How about that as we go through it here? So that'll be great here. So Carrie, all yours. I think it's in the order that
Okay.
people joined.
Okay. My name is Carrie Kettner. I teach History 17B at Mendota High School.
Awesome. And Nicholas.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Nicholas Trujillo. I am teaching microeconomics online.
Oh, cool. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Butts. I'm a retired band director from Hanford West High School. Been with West Hill since 2002, and I teach music appreciation, Music 42.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Antonio, seen you in meetings before. All yours.
My name is Antonio Chaparreta. This is my first semester teaching. I'm teaching dual enrollment political science 1 at Mendota and Faribault High School.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for doing so. All right, and Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly Suarez. I've been teaching sociology since 2007 at West Hills. I am teaching Intro to Sociology and Marriage and Family this semester.
Neat. Thank you. All right, I got to pronounce these just like students here. Sometimes I get the names wrong, so I'm sorry here. Deja?
Sorry, you have that right.
There you go. Okay,
I'm
good.
Deja. I teach ESL at West Hills Coalinga. I'm in Portland right now at the TESOL convention with a whole bunch of English teaching nerds.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. That is so neat. Well, I'm so glad you joined
Hi.
as well. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Cool. Miro.
Yeah, Moroccan Nemeth. I taught English for both campuses, mostly Lemoore, since 2010. Since 2016, I've taught linguistics, and I teach ESL sometimes as well.
Okay, that's linguistics 11, I believe.
Yeah, intro to linguistics.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, we go to Gil.
Hey, everybody. My name is Gil Torres. I am teaching Student Development 1 at Mendota High School.
Student Development. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And Sam.
Sorry, technical difficulties. Hey, I'm Samantha Schmidt. This is my first semester as an adjunct with West Hills, and I am also with dual enrollment. Avenel High School this semester. I have Ag Business 15, which is computer applications to ag.
Sweet. Nice to see you, Sam. Just a quick little thing. Sam was a student of mine, then was a tutor with me, and then eventually adjunct faculty. That's just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Let's see. Berkeley. What? We can come back to that. Justin Garcia, even though not adjunct.
So
oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, go for it.
So sorry about that. It says spacebar works, but so hi there. I'm Berkeley Woods. I'm teaching History 17B at Avenel High.
17B. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin.
Hi everyone. I'm Justin Garcia. I'm the Dean of Ed Services here at West Hills College, Coalinga.
Neat. Thank you so much. Deborah?
Sorry, I was on muted. Hi, I'm Devorah. I teach nutrition. for West Hills Coalinga.
Oh, neat. So that's nutrition 1 then, right?
Yes,
Oh, neat. Okay, cool. Thank you.
thank you.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Justin, for the comment there. Came in. Lindsay, I believe, is next here.
Lindsay Robinson, Firebaugh High School. I teach history 17B.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Leanne.
Good evening. I teach here in Coalinga. I have 17B online this semester and CD 18 in class hybrid starting last night. And I'm excited for the semester and training.
That's neat. That's child development, right, CD?
Yes, yes.
Cool. All right. Glad to have you aboard. And Anna.
Hi, everybody. I am teaching ethnic studies, introduction to ethnic studies this semester, and I've been teaching that class since last summer.
Oh, neat. And I'm sorry, which class again? Sorry, just
Ethnic studies,
ethnic studies. Okay.
ethnic studies, yeah, ethnic studies 1.
Got it. Okay. Cool. All right. And last but not least, we have Michael.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael, and I am teaching the CPR and first aid classes at the new Fireball Center.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Just introducing yourselves. Just Sam, do you want to introduce yourself too? I guess I should not leave you out. If you want to say anything
Hi.
as well.
Hello, I'm Sam. I work here.
Neat. Okay. He does not only work here, he's probably like involved in so many things there, including accreditation, including putting classes together and putting us into those classes. So thank you. Thank you, Sam, for the leadership there and leadership in setting this up as well. So let me do this here. I'm going to jump to my screen, which should be the PowerPoint screen here. And just kind of run through just real quickly here. Some have heard this maybe before. Hopefully I can put a little bit more of a good spin on it here. And let me do this as well. I'm going to cut my video out just because of bandwidth. It'll be a little easier to do that. And let's do this here. If you have a question after each of these, please feel free to have that kind of quick interchange with me on it. I'd rather have the fielding of the questions as we go through it, as opposed to sort of waiting for the end of it here. But I want to go through, this is our training, and just to go through a few things here as far as the agenda part 1 is concerned. And so student learning outcomes. Not sure how many are familiar with it. Let me just give you just a quick history on it to sort of see why are we doing it in the first place? Because a lot of times if we don't know the why, then it's kind of difficult to understand the how of things. But it was the year 2000. It was the year 2000, and our accreditation commission, which is ACCJC, they were tasked with the way of assuring an accountability measure for learning. That was it. So the question before them was, are we going to be like the K-12 system, which there's going to be end of term exams to assure the students are learning at all the colleges, community colleges in the state of California? Are we going to take a day and they're going to have this standardized exam that's going to be given? Or is there going to be a different system? So the community college system fought pretty much very hard not to have these standardized exams that came from the state of California into the college classroom. Students take them and then it kind of disappears back into some kind of matrix of how community colleges are performing. Instead, they fought for a system in which teachers, instructors as professionals, we make up our own exam, we deliver that exam to students, and we take the time to reflect upon that exam for the sole purpose really of improving instruction and improving student learning. And so not individual students, instructors per se, but maybe a department. So English department would get together and they would take the time to develop and craft a good exam for those particular outcomes and even deciding on those particular outcomes. So The English department, as an example, would come in and say, what are the most important, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 things that are so crucial in this class that students need to know as they walk away from this class? And then after that, they would craft an exams for each of those, and they would give the exam. In the semester, they would take a look at the results, see where students are failing, see where students are good, see where there's exception, weakness, and strength. And then from there, tailor, if need be, an improvement plan for those students or for students in general, because once students graduate, they're not going to be in the class anymore. So that's where it is. So at 2005, then 5 years later, ACCJC, the commission body, decided they were going to start now holding community colleges accountable for making sure this process is in fact taking place. And so the commission never told how to implement this process, which way to do it. Should there be beginning of term meetings with faculty? There was no sort of prerequisite standard of operation of it. Is just make it happen and make it as organic as possible for the college. So that's why the Student Learning Outcomes Committee sort of started from there. And so it was the reflection piece of how should we do this best. And throughout the years, it started off with me having a paper student learning outcomes reports on my desk in my office. And that's how it started. And eventually, a few years later, we did something called a portal site, in which I set up a workflow in which faculty came in, they put their results in, and we were able to take that data out. And as we'll see a little bit later on, we even bought into a software system called Illumin at this point, which we use in order to house as a repository for the SLOs, as well as put in results, and as well as look at data. So that's kind of where we're at, how we evolved in it. But this whole concept of student learning outcomes is supposed to be here student-centered. You are looking at the student, not so much as the objectives of what you taught in the class. So now this is whether the student actually got that learning inside them and could actually present it on an exam. So the two things that we always talk about with student learning is they have to be measurable and they have to be meaningful. So measurable, you have to know what the students are going to do. How are they going to show you that they know this? So in English class, maybe they're going to write an essay, or they can correct a grammar quiz, or they write something where they correcting grammar, something along those lines, something that's tangible, something that's measurable that you can actually see and grade. And the other part is meaningful. It has to be meaningful to the class as a whole. This is the important crux, in a sense, of the class. So those two things we always talk about as a committee. All right. And also student learning outcomes are to be college-wide. So if you teach for Lemoore, Lemoore does have a different pair of outcomes. They are not the same as Coalinga. And so Coalinga has their own. If you teach in Firebaugh, if you teach, if this is a Coalinga class, then we have our own set of student learning outcomes. So each college was tasked to create their own. That's what we did. And so the use of SLOs, first is accreditation. It's on the accreditation standards. We do have to implement and improve and show that we actually are doing the process. But also, and much more meaningfully, I believe, is this whole concept of quality improvement in the classroom. So as you take the time to reflect upon this, you're saying, hey, how come they did bad on this project? You know, that's what really the goal of the spirit, in a sense, of student learning outcomes was. And so if we take a look at these kind of like these two circles, one is the process circle, I call it. This is what we do. This is what we're thinking through here. So the first part is we're gonna write some outcomes. And if they're written already, which they should be already, they're on your syllabus already, hopefully. They have been written as a college. And then we're going to identify or create assessments for those. So they actually assess what we want them to assess. So if they're writing an essay, it's the prompt of writing an essay and making sure there's no other, in a sense, statistical noise there. You know, you really are looking at their assessment writing of an essay. And then you give the test to them. You allow them to write the essay, and then you grade it And then you take a little extra step and you analyze it. Where were they strong? Where were they weak? Was there any data that was really good? Was there any data that was not so good? And if there needs to be improvement, then we strategize an improvement plan. And then we do that again, just to make sure that it is. And so that is from sort of the process part. For the student side, it's this right here. They should be able to understand what the expectations of this learning process is. So most faculty, they make a rubric that this is what you're going to learn, and you'll have a test on this particular concept. And then you communicate those expectations. Part of it is the process is, yes, this would be a good essay. These are the expectations for this. And then you go on to students will hand in their work, you will collect, and then with them, hopefully you determine the extent of their learning. So as they get their papers back, if they get a certain score, hopefully there's some kind of communication back to the students to say, yeah, this is where you were strong or weak on, this is your grade for the assignment. So there's some kind of feedback here. And then we think about students as a whole. You know, if 95, 98% of the students did that assessment well and everything's fine, that tends to indicate like, yeah, this is happening really well. If on the other hand, you know, we've got 60% of the students really performing well on this assessment and it's not going so well, then maybe there is that time to sort of say, you know what, I should take a look at how I'm teaching this. I should take a look at how students are grasping it. What are the bottlenecks in their learning, or what is being confused? So right here, here's kind of what we're sort of thinking, the nuts and bolts of it here. So is it student learning centered? Are you actually focused on students and what they're bringing back to you as far as their learning? And again, just to make sure, and how well are they learning it? Right. So there's a process there. And then also there's a reflection of how did I teach that topic? And so maybe not 100% because we don't know how the lives of students are happening here, but we accept at least some responsibility for some student learning. You know, if half the class didn't get it, maybe there's something that I'm not seeing. You know, the normal threshold at West Hills College is that we should probably pass with at least 70% of the students passing the SLO. And so that's been always the threshold here. For the most part, there are some faculty members that have it even higher at 80%, or if you're in a licensure program, they have it at 90%. So it's up to the faculty members to see what percentage they are comfortable, but the default setting is 70%. Okay, and it is also the time to experiment with new strategies. You've taught this class maybe since 2006, but now the question is, hey, is there a better way to teach this? Is there a way that will connect to students now that maybe it did a long while back, but not anymore? So there's that. And namely, the whole focus is not on an evaluation of you as a teacher. Please mark that completely out of your minds, because that's what used to be thought of when this first came out. It's going to be punitive, it's going to be evaluative, and it's not. It is focused on improvement. The only thing administration is going to look at is just the fact that, are you doing the process? They do not have any means to look at even the results of the assessments. It's namely, were they on the list to assess the SLO, and did they do it? And so at West Hills College, you should have, I think Angie probably talked to you already about this here. You're sending out a SLO set of SLOs for PDF, and then Angie comes in and checks your SLO and your syllabus to make sure the student learning outcomes are correct. So that should have been sort of the first thing that happened this semester for you. And then not all classes are assessed. At West Hills College, we have a 2-year assessment cycle, which is going to be right here. And I'll send this out to you guys later on here. But if you want to click on it here, it does take you a 2-year assessment cycle. So you know at least which year you are going to be assessing the SLOs. But I'll give you the spreadsheet for this semester. So there's 2 ways to get it. This link is right here. Also, it is listed on our portal page. If you go to the Student Learning Outcomes Committee page, it says Resources for Illumin, and you click on Assessment Cycle. It'll take you to that link as well. So let's talk about spring 2023. So let me get out of our presentation real quickly here. And let's do this here. I didn't see any questions pop up, so I was just going with it here. But before I go on to the next one here, let me pop my video open here. Any questions so far on anything? I know that was just a whirlwind of information here. Maybe just real quick here, from a scale of like, let's do this here. 1 on the chat, if you guys can put on the chat. 1 is, this is the first time I'm seeing student learning outcomes, did not even know this is part of West Hills College. That's a 1. 2 is, I'm familiar with it, but I've never assessed before. 3 would be, I'm familiar with it and I've assessed before. I know the drill, done it, been there, done that, let's say. So just a quick little thing on.
Is 3 the highest?
3 the highest, yeah. 3, been there, done that, West Hills College. I've assessed it. I've done it. I know exactly what I'm doing. Done it from semester to semester. Okay, cool. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. At least a lot of 2s there. That's great. Happy for that. Okay. So before we jump on to the next thing here, talk to me. Any questions so far? Let me kind of scroll up real quick here just to see the numbers again. Okay. Yeah, we're all at 2s, 2.5. Okay. Sweet. Okay, no questions. Okay, so let's go on. So here's where I get to take a little bit of role here. So this is the spreadsheet that is sent out at the beginning of the semester. And I know I sent it to you before our first meeting. I just want to see who's here as far as adjunct faculty that are actually on the list to assess this semester. So it could be that none, but that's okay. We're going to go with, and tell me if you're here, because I have it on a different screen here. So let me go like this, screen share. Let me get my video off. And so I'm going to go down list adjunct faculty, Kami, nope, Gabriella, Ryan, Kimberly, Burke. All right, tell me if you see your name here. I got Lisa, is that right? All right, and tell me if you see your name there. So Deja. Holly.
I saw Michael's
Oh, I see
name.
my name. Okay.
I saw Michael's name, Arcady.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let me go back up here. Michael. Oh yeah, thank you. Almost missed you there, Michael. Okay, anybody else did you guys see? Okay, so for this semester, again, it's assessed every 2 years. So every 4 semesters, we're going to be assessing things here. And what has happened on the full-time faculty side is within their learning area, they have also seen this spreadsheet. And so hopefully they're reaching out to you, but if not, please reach out to them here. So for Michael, if you can, reach out to Alex or reach out to the other faculty member right here. Michael, if you can reach out to Michael. And maybe we can stay after the people that are assessing this semester. We could stay after the presentation and we can discuss if you're getting all the support that you need for it. I just don't want to do it as a big group here. So the spreadsheet, I know I sent you guys this about a month ago here. So these are the courses that are on the 2-year cycle. And so they're set and they are actually on the schedule. What tends to happen is not all courses are on the schedule. They get assessed. So we do have some leftovers from last semester. Now these right here and the second set here, these are courses that were up last semester, or previous semesters, but they were not assessed. And so real quick here, anybody here from the list?
Yeah, I see Dr. Lucas. Nutrition.
Deborah, perfect. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So after we finish up the meeting here, I'd like to just take the time to speak individually with each one of the people here that have assessments that are set for this semester here. What I also want to touch on is the Illumin software package here. So just for you to be a little more familiar with it here, let me jump to it real quickly here. And as I'm doing that here, once again, any questions from anybody here? If you can, I don't see the chat now because it's behind the other window here.
While you're pulling that up, I just have a quick question. Oh,
yeah.
I just saw that Ag Business 15 is scheduled but unstaffed. And so that is the course that I am teaching this
I'm
semester.
so glad. Okay.
So if that needs to be done, I'm happy to volunteer for that. I just wanted to reach out and say that now.
Okay. Yeah, we do have a couple of courses, and this is about maybe 4 weeks of old as far as the spreadsheet is. So I'm not sure if it got staffed or not already here. Ag Business 15. Is this your course right here? So AHSO1?
It is correct. And so I can send.
That is the one. That is the one.
Okay, perfect. I can send Tim an email if that works.
Sam, yeah, let me put you in first so we know we have that. And let's stick around after I do the Illumin software presentation and we can have that quick discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, and nutrition. Dr. Lucas, are you teaching the C02 as well or just the one?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's the date?
Yes, Sam, do we know? Have we got that one staffed as well?
It is with a different instructor.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we're just going to focus on that one then, the C01. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for telling me, because this has to be correct as we go into the assessment piece a little bit later on. So let's jump. If you want to just watch, because this is recorded as well, if you want to try it yourself as you're by the computer, that's fine too here. But if you go into the portal site, you got to log in as the staff portal login. All right, and on to the left-hand side of the page, you will see a few little things here. The canvas, this is the link to your courses. And as you go down, you're going to see two instances. There it is. There's a Kalinga portion of Illumin and Lemoore. So since you're teaching the Kalinga course, clicking on that. And one of the things, if you can try this after the meeting or even during the meeting here, just to see if you can log in. That's the whole point here, because I know last time in the meeting, Antonio, he didn't have access to it. So I just want to make sure everybody has access to Illumin. So the way you log in is that it is the first and last name of the way you normally write in at WHCC.edu, except leave that piece out. So it's the username before the at. The passcode is the exact same passcode that you use to log into your email or any other functions at West Hills College Kalinga. All right, and let me change my screen into the faculty screen. Just a little slow here. All right, and any other questions as this loads up very slowly? All right, let me refresh the page. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to go to math since I teach math. So when you log into Lumen, this is normally what you would see. You would see the classes, and for some reason, Lumen is always one semester ahead. So when you log in, you're going to see spring of 23. And this time they got it good. I'm so glad. There it is. Usually it's the next semester ahead that they put in here. So these are the classes that are associated with my name. Now, the thing that we should consider is this: if this class has ever been associated with your name, even for like a second at the district office, maybe someone keyed in your name incorrectly into the course, your name is going to be attached here. So I don't teach 2B, but for some reason, my name is attached to it because somehow at the district office, it was there before. All right, so let's go down here. I teach this class, I teach this class, I teach this class. Perfect. And so notice that up here next to this is the number of students I have in the class, and this is how I input the results. So let me just kind of go through just a quick intro just so you see it. This is what you do after you've already done the assessment and you want to put in your results. So you're going to go to Math 45. I'll do this one here, Math 45, and you're going to click on Find Assessment. And let's see, and we're going to look for Math 45 on the assessment. So notice these are all the math SLOs here. If you want to go just a little bit easier here, you can go through something called a filter. I'm sorry, this is really slow. All right, I'm not going to use a filter here. I'm going to jump through. So these are assessments that have, it's called assessment shells that have already been made. And there it is. There's my Math 45 class. I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to add it to my section. And so notice what has happened here after it refreshes here. Again, super slow. I'm so sorry about that. Let's if it does refresh itself, that'll be great here. But let's go into, so it's going to happen. It's going to have these little categories there. Oh, no, it's just playing with me. That's it. It's just toying with me. So notice now I have these little pieces right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the assessments. And you can click on each one. My preference is the first one because it's called the classroom view. So it's just students and their names, and we just go down the list here. And so we go down the list. So in West Hills College, we consider the 5 being the A, 4 being the B for the assignment. Then you got C, D, F. And if the student was actually not took the assessment or maybe even dropped the class, we have those little check marks so that it doesn't count against you. So normally what we do is we just put in the grades as the assignment was done. That person got an A. I will delete this a little bit later on. There it is. And so this is just based upon the assignment. And then we click on save, and it'll say save to reflection template here. And when you click on that, then there's this little reflection template that comes up. So let me jump back to my presentation, and we're going to go one down. And it has 3 input values. So the first one is to focus just on the test itself. So was the test aligning with the learning outcomes? You said it so, and if they wrote the essay, but is it really aligning the way you wanted it to align? Just a quick little thing, the math department, and we were looking at this, and now that we're using 2 different textbooks, we just noticed that each of us, well, there's 4 in the department, but 2 of us were teaching one concept a little bit differently, as opposed to the 2 were teaching it books just because of textbooks. And so just the wording of it was off, and we had low scores for our students. And now seeing it, we're seeing, wow, actually it was just the way the phrasing of the test was happening for the students. And so now we've corrected that. So it's one of those things where you just take a look at the assessment. Is this assessment doing what it's supposed to do? Is it valid? Is it accurate? The second part is to focus on the data itself. So how did the students perform? Was there something that was really good? Were they able to do a thesis statement? Everybody got the thesis statement correct, right? Or grammar was really good. And then what was some needs for improvement? So, okay, they didn't really connect on the second point or third point, or they didn't show any evidence, or their citation is off. That's the ones that you want to focus on as well. So the areas that can be improved, absolutely, And then the question is, how are you going to address the needs and issues of students? And so then, if that's the case, then you write a statement here. What are the steps the department can take to address the needs to reveal in the assignment here? What do you want to change? If there is needed to be change, what do you want to change? And so what happens here is this gets filtered, and it goes back to Illumin, because even last semester, I can even show you that real quick. I'm just going to bounce back and forth between a couple of things here. This SLO and assessment piece. Hopefully it doesn't take too long again. These are the SLOs, but also you can take a look at the assessments from last semester, just as sort of as the results. Hopefully it won't take too long to process. All right. So this is the second tab in Illumin. This is cool. So the first 2 tabs are really the ones that you want to pay attention to. Notice I have all the listing of all the SLOs. So for Math 1A, I have all the listing of those in my department. So as you go down the list here. And so Math 45, just going to just drop it over here. So if you ever wanted to see what the SLOs are for the course, go for it. Take a look at it here. You can jump down to this one here. And then also notice there's some performance here. So notice this is set for spring of 2023. Those assessments have not been done yet. But if you go up here, that's sort of data piece here, you can change the term to fall of 2022. And so that will change the performance data right over here. All right, so as you scroll down, notice it is now fall of 2022. I'm going to jump to Math 25 because that would kind of show where are we at right here. So notice this was good. That's an 80% success rate with the students. Our default is 70. We had a 92.3. That's great because the 2 textbooks teach this the same way. But here it is. Here's our disparity. As we took a look at this here, we noticed, yeah, actually we're teaching it different. And the test is not the way we want it to read anymore here. So we're going to take this semester to actually improve how we assess that particular SLO. And there it is. That's the whole point of SLOs, is this whole concept of improvement of the test itself even, but much more so the improvement of the student learning in the process. All right, what I wanted to do here is there's a link here. It's a YouTube link, which I'll send out later, but is just a quick 3-minute video, 4-minute video of how to input into Lumen. Something I already showed you earlier, but in case you need to go back to a quick little video just to input, there it is. We do also have something called a Student Learning Assessment Day. So this semester, it's on May 19th. It is always the Friday before finals week. And you are more than encouraged to join. You're not required, but this is where we get together, full-time faculty, take a look at their SLO stuff, adjunct faculty. We've had adjunct faculty in the past come, there'll be a link that's sent out a little ways before, and a Zoom link a few days before the meeting. And if you want to join, please do. This is a collaboration time for faculty, adjunct, as well as full-time, to take a look at their SLOs assessments. And if you're there in person, really good food as well, because Sam provides the food during that time. Okay, what I do want to walk away with you guys here, if you do have any questions, you can contact me. My next slide will have my contact information. But if you need to contact the Student Learning Outcomes Committee representative in your learning area, if you want to jot down their name, when I sent out the email to you about a month ago with the classes here, I did include their name, so you can refer back to the email. Also, you can write their name down right now if you like. And so if you need any help with it, they're a go-to person to at least help you start doing this process if you're really, really stuck or not able to really get in contact with a full-time faculty member in the area. There's that. All right, and my contact information, there it is. Email as well as phone number in case you need to reach me. Awesome. Okay, and then just another set of if there are any questions, and I would like for people that have their names on that spreadsheet, if you guys can hang out for another 15 minutes or so. I just want to make sure I just talk with you individually to see how you're doing, see if you made contact with a full-time faculty member, or what are your plans as far as assessment goes. All right, I'm going to stop the recording process at this point. Let's see. Actually, no, I should ask here. Are there any more questions? Anybody about the SLO process?
Arcadia, there's a question about accessing the recording.
Oh, yeah. So, Sam, I am not. I know it's recording to the cloud, but I believe since you set up the meeting, I think you have access to the recording.
Oh, yes. So, yes, we can share the recording.
Awesome. Yeah. And with that, Sam, if we can do a link to that YouTube assessment piece too, maybe separately, so we can have those.
That'd be great. Will you be able to your PowerPoint? Can you share
send
that?
it? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll send it to you, so maybe you can send with the link and everything.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So thank you.
So with classes that are not being assessed, courses not being assessed this semester, can faculty choose to assess their courses even if they're not scheduled?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the 2-year assessment cycle, that's a bare minimum cycle. We do have faculty, full-time faculty at West Hills College. They assess every single class, every single semester. And that's just what they like to do. They're data-driven people. And so that's awesome. But the minimum requirement is once every 2 years to at least get data. And just to share, so this course data does feed into many layers as well. It feeds into general education student learning outcomes. It feeds into your program review data, and also feeds into the institutional level as well. So this is important for us to do right and well, because then the data is pulled and aggregated in many different levels. Cool. All right. Any other questions? All right. So I'm going to stop the recording since the rest of it's going to be a little bit more personal there.